Welcome to learning how to break down the drawing of a horse. Horses can be a great animal to learn how to draw because their skeletal structure is similar to that of many four-legged creatures. They are complex. A horse is to have a look at the skeletal structure before you draw it. So if you notice, a horse has extra joints in its feet that allow it to move in many different directions. And knowing where these are and that they exist will help you to draw the feet in proportion to the body. Horses actually have very long legs, and when I first started drawing, I never got them long enough. Knowing the skeletal structure of a creature, whatever you're going to draw, it'll help you to break down the animal into easier bite-sized pieces so that you can actually draw it with more accuracy. Sometimes the hardest part of drawing a picture on a canvas, or like, for example, I'm doing all these new things while I'm recording, but I've never drawn on an unprimed like board canvas like this. I found this at Michael's. Anyway, so I find the easiest way to start is by making some kind of a mark here and here. Okay, so it's like halfway and halfway. And what it does is it helps to center the thing that you're drawing right in the middle. Okay, so from this square type area here, what I like to do is kind of figure out, okay, so how big do I want to make my horse? I give myself a bit of a grid to stay between that allows me to remain within the center of the canvas. How much room can be in the front and in the back of our horse? That's your first step to creating this horse. When you're looking at your picture, okay, so the chest area here, his nose is actually a part of that chest. A really cool trick to do a horse correctly is to make their head shape is basically a kite. So his nostril is going to be here, nostril here, eye here, eye is going to be covered up by mane, but it's basically right there. Horses have body parts such as withers and a back, and remember we have that basic skeleton. His back end we want to fit. Another helpful hint is when you've drawn a circle like the one that you have, break it in two. So again, I'm just breaking it down into shapes. Shapes that are going to help me fill in the details later. Just a really neat way to do horse legs that I have found is you do little diamonds for his knees. And you can get the basic position of the leg in that way. is you start with a light line and you work your way darker. His neck is too short, so I have to drop in the back of it to compensate for that neck. Sometimes breaking it down just a little bit can help you actually achieve the right shape. But he still has the two sides to his body. I got rid of all the lines on the inside of him to help my eye to actually see his shape and where I need to adjust and how I need to fix his proportions and different things. When you're erasing something and you've just done pencil, you have to be careful how much you actually wipe, because you can smear your lead around. And I've learned that the hard way, that when you're erasing, it's better to snap at your canvas than it is to wipe. But given that this is my first time working with wood, the snapping isn't doing what it does on a canvas. On a canvas, it just bounces right off. It's really nice. But on the wood, it doesn't have that flexibility of that. Starting to wonder if maybe I should just talk about this afterwards, because I really go quiet when I draw. I didn't realize how much I'm just not used to talking and drawing at the same time. Notice that I choke down on my, I don't choking down my pencil, choking up my pencil, so I move my fingers back and forth. When I want to add movement and lightness to my art, I let the pencil have more, it's a less controlled grip than when I was doing his outline. Because I want to give that feeling of lightness to his mane, so therefore the pencil needs to be held lightly. Okay, so that back leg here is where we need to work on. So we have our subject matter right in front of us. So I like to have it as close to my pencil as I possibly can get it. My art teacher growing up in high school there once said a quote to me that has always changed the way I draw. It's like, when you use reference material, it's fine to use it, but make sure you add your own flair. But when it comes to creating art, half the fun is putting your own spin on it. It's what makes it your painting and not somebody else's picture. You just gotta keep working it until you get it. We're working it. Keep killing it. Don't throw the canvas. Just relax. Now, sometimes when something is really getting to me, I'll just wait until I start painting. Because I'm actually stronger at painting than I am drawing by quite a bit, with achieving looks and stuff like that. So there you have it, the rough idea of how your horse is gonna look